عظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصابنا بسيدنا ومولانا أبي عبد الله الحسين عليه السلام، وجعلنا الله وإياكم من الطالبين بثأره بين يديه الإمام المنصور المؤيد المهدي من آل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، حبيب إله العالمين، العبد المؤيد والرسول المسدد، حبيب إله العالمين أبا القاسم محمد. اللهم صل وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المظلومين المنتجبين، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين. أما بعد، قال الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم وقوله الحق وهو أصدق الصادقين وأحسن القائلين: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، ذلك ومن يعظم شعائر الله فإنها من تقوى القلوب. آمنا بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Illuminate your hearts and fragrance this gathering with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Salli ala ali Muhammad. A second in honor of a Sayyida Zainab. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. A third in honor of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein with your loudest of voices. Allahumma. In the aftermath of the event of Ashura, the 10th of Muharram, the family of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam was, as we all know and recognize, taken captive by the forces of Umar ibn Sa'ad and by the leadership of Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad, and of course under the supervision entirely of Yazid ibn Muawiyah alayhum la'natullah. They were taken from the event of Karbala and the land of Karbala to Kufa first. They were captives. The daughters of Rasulullah at one point were living the lives of, one would say, spiritual bliss. Indeed, the spiritual blissness continued. However, when someone has a level of acknowledgement that powerful, this is the granddaughter of Rasulullah, this is the son of Rasulullah, these are the children of the messenger of Islam. They were practically meant to be treated like queens and princesses, now captives, taken to Kufa, from Kufa, while being ridiculed and harassed and insulted, all that turmoil and calamity, then to Sham. The trial doesn't end. When someone reads the stories and the incidences that went on in the life of these women, one would imagine that we as men would not have been able to handle it. No man on earth would have been able to handle it. And it's remarkable why Imam al-Hussein selected his sister, as-Sayyida Zainab alayha salam, amongst all of his siblings to come and attend the event of Karbala. Because ultimately, as we mentioned several times before, the Imam knew the knowledge of the unseen and has knowledge of the unseen. Ilmul Ghaib is very real when it comes to the Holy Prophet and his family. And Rasulullah would demonstrate this knowledge of the unseen. He would foretell the future by bringing examples such as on the occasion of the building of Masjid al-Nabawi. My dear respected brothers and sisters, I would love for the brothers in particular to come up towards the center or closer to the member here so that there is room for the brothers in the back. Rahimallah min dhakr al-qa'im min ali Muhammad. Allahumma ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. But the Holy Prophet would demonstrate this wisdom, and this would be included as one of his miracles. The Holy Prophet, his miracle is not confined to the Holy Quran only. Indeed, that is amongst his miracles. But the Holy Prophet of Islam, his miracles are divided as such. One miracle is the Quran. Another miracle is the haqa'iq al-ilmiyya fil Quran, the scientific miraculous discoveries found in the Holy Quran. I'm pretty sure many of you nights before may have been astonished to cover and go over the discussion concerning black holes in the Holy Quran or any other scientific finding that only today we just discover and only today we just realize and find that amongst the miracles, the Quran, the scientific discoveries in the Holy Quran, the ilmul ghaib al-nabawi, the knowledge of the unseen, including Rasulullah's name was also a miracle. The the haqa'iq al-ilmiya of Rasulullah himself, aside from the Holy Quran. So his worldly miracles as well, because as we know, Rasulullah has this authority upon law, wilaya tashri'iyya, and he has wilaya takwiniyya, where he performs miracles, where the miraculous events, such as when you look at the ayat referring to اقتربت الساعة وانشقت القمر, that one tafsir may prefer or say that the moon was split out of the miracle of the Holy Prophet, or the stories that we mentioned previous nights, the event in which the two young boys of the family that invited the Holy Prophet, the Prophet brought them back to life, of course with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessings, that these miracles were evident. Amongst these miracles, my dear respected brothers and sisters, is the ilmul ghaib. And Rasulullah demonstrated this, knowledge of the unseen. He'd tell you the future. He would look at an individual, and many people will ask, O Prophet, O Messenger of Allah, will I be going to heaven? Am I destined to hell? The Prophet would come and console them, would tell them, maybe not their answers to, instill fear in their hearts, but however, he would come and advise them, for the Prophet knows the future. In one event, as they were building the holy mosque, Masjid al-Nabawi, the green dome mosque in Medina, they were constructing it. Ammar bin Yasir, Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayh, was building, but he was an energetic youth. So he was taking 2 blocks of stone and carrying them, while the rest were taking 1. As he was taking 2, he would go to the Holy Prophet, pass by him, and he would jokingly say, Ya Rasulullah, they're killing me. He would jokingly say, look, they're giving me so much load. They're killing me, Rasulullah. Rasulullah would smile, would approach him, as the hadith mentions, and would put his hand on his head, removing the dirt from his hair, and he would say, they're not going to be the ones who kill you. The ones who kill you, تَقْتِلُكَ الْفِئَةُ الْبَاغِيَةُ, that a really ruthless group of people will kill you. Years later, killed by the army of Muawiyah bin Abi Sufyan. And they were that fi'atul baghiyah, the ruthless, merciless group. The Holy Prophet foretold his future. He knew what was going to happen. And indeed, the Ahlul Bayt, they inherit that knowledge. Imam Ali, when he talks to Maytham al-Tammar, alayhi salam, Amir al-Mu'minin salamullahi alayhi, speaking to Maytham al-Tammar, telling him, you see that tree? See that tree, O Maytham? You're going to be tied to it. And you will be killed praising me and expressing love to me. Maytham was then killed on that same tree. Imam Ali foretold the future, and he was saying, Ya Ali, Ya Ali, Ya Ali, Labbayka Ya Ali, Ya Amir al-Mu'minin. They would say, we don't want to hear you praising Imam Ali. They came and cut his tongue off. But Imam Ali told him, that tree. But do you know what he did? Before being tied to the tree, he would go and water it. Maytham al-Tammar. These are the principles of the followers of Ahlul Bayt, where they know what's going to happen because the Imams would inform them, right? And that was the case right there. Imam al-Hussein likewise carried that knowledge of the unseen, ilmul ghaib, because if Rasulullah has ilmul ghaib, and then he follows it by saying, Husaynul minni wa ana min Husayn, he's from me, Husayn alayhi salam, and I'm from him. Indeed, Imam Hussein has ilmul ghaib, which is why he took a Sayyida Zainab alayhi salam. He has several brothers, Amir al-Mu'minin, Imam Ali alayhi salam. I mean, historically, if you count his sons, how many children did he have? Imam Ali, how many children did he have? We'll easily name 4. Al-Hasani wal-Husayn alayhum as-salam. You can say, who else? Muhsin, the miscarried child. Abbas, salamullahi alayhim ajma'een. But then the Imam also had several sons. And the books of narrations will tell you he had a son by the name of Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiyyah, as we recognize him as Muhammad al-Akbar. And then he had other sons of the like such as Ja'far bin Ali, Awn bin Ali, Hilal bin Ali, Abdullah bin Ali, Ubaydullah bin Ali, Umar bin Ali, Uthman bin Ali, and Abu Bakr bin Ali. Now the discussion comes, why would Imam Ali name his names after the first 3 caliphs? Did that then mean he loved them? The name Umar was a common name, number 1. And number 2, the name Uthman was also a very common name. And number 3, Abu Bakr is not a name, it's a kunya. In fact, the Khalifa, the first Khalifa, his name is not Abu Bakr, that's a kunya. His name was Atiq. That was his name historically. But the community gave him a kunya. What is a kunya? A title. That we will call you Abu Bakr. Then you look at the children of Imam Ali alayhi salam as a side fact. When you look at, let's say, for example, Umar ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. Umar ibn Ali, this individual, Imam Ali didn't name him after any random Umar. Like if there is no other Umar other than the second Khalifa, no, not necessarily. Rasulullah, his son-in-law or son-in-law was Umar, who Salama Radwanullahi ta'ala alayha, she already had a family before marrying Rasulullah. One of her children was this man, they call him Umar bin Muqrin. Umar bin Muqrin was a loyal individual to Imam Ali. He stood first in line to defend Islam in Siffin, in Jamal, in Nahrawan. He had love for the Ahlul Bayt. And he was Imam Ali's representative in Bahrain. And so Imam Ali loved this Umar bin Muqrin. And technically, if he is the son of Salama, that would make Rasulullah, the husband of Salama, his father-in-law. So technically the son of Rasulullah. So Imam Ali, out of his love for him and traditions from our sources, named his son after him. Easy. Uthman, son of Ali ibn Abi Talib Ali. Imam Ali, he had a son named Uthman, but indeed the name Uthman is very common. You find that one of the individuals that were named Uthman was Uthman bin Mad'un. Radwanullahi ta'ala alayh. Uthman bin Mad'un before Islam was a very pious person, already worshipped Allah, monotheistic. He wasn't a kafir or a polytheistic or a mushrik. Before Islam, he was already behaving kind of like a Muslim. He wouldn't drink alcohol either. And he was the first to be buried in Jannatul Baqi'. And so Imam Ali, in our sources, named his son after him. And then, of course, the other name, Abu Bakr, son of Imam Ali. They would say that this Abu Bakr, son of Imam Ali, if there is a Muhammad al-Akbar, there has to be a Muhammad al-Asghar. And indeed, Abu Bakr is not a name. One of the rights of your child is you give him a title or a name. You have to give him a name, first of all. Indeed, we have in our sources, his name was Muhammad al-Asghar. However, the community came and decided to give him that title. He died shaheed with Imam Hussein in Karbala. Many of us don't mention this. And some other sons of the Imam as well. But the point being that Imam al-Hussein also had several other sisters. But why does he take Abbas? Why does he take Sayyida Zainab? And why not any other of these individuals? For example, he would tell Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiyyah, Radwanullahi ta'ala alayh, a champion in the battle of Siffin under the commandments of his father Imam Ali. And you find that Imam Ali would tell his sons Al-Hasan and Al-Hussein alayhum as-salam to stay back and not fight. And he would tell Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiyyah, go and fight. And then he would return, oh my beloved father, why is it that you command me to fight but not them? They're strong warriors. He would say, oh Muhammad, Al-Hasan and Al-Hussein are my eyes and you are my hands. It's the job of the hand to defend and protect the eyes. Indeed, this would exemplify the love that Imam had for his children. But the point is, Imam Hussein, having this knowledge of the unseen, knows what's going to happen in the future. When the messages, 12,000 letters come from Kufa, come, we want to give you bay'ah and allegiance, he knows the goal is not Kufa, it's going to be Karbala. So he wants to make sure that when we get to Karbala and I am martyred, on a day like this, my dear respected brothers and sisters, ajarakum Allah, that there needs to be someone to handle that torment. Sayyida Zainab alayhi salam was the best decision and the best choice to handle all that torment. And this proves a very beautiful example that leadership should never only be confined to the brothers and the men and the males. That we have phenomenal figures in history that manifested supreme leadership by women. A great authority by God-fearing pious women. I mean, at the end of the day, the Imam alayhi salam, accompanying Imam al-Hussein was his own son, and Imam Ma'soom, Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam. However, due to his illness, he wasn't able to attend the event of Karbala and participate likewise. But he was at the event, he was there, he was present. But it was a Sayyida Zainab that took the reins, as the Imam was very ill. Because he knows she's the only one that can handle it. He knows that because me and you were raised under the house of Ali and Fatima alayhum as-salam, you have those principles of Ali and Fatima, the principles of loyalty and strength, the principles of courage and valor, the principles of robust and forbearance, that we can only come and do this. And because you are my sister from both mother and father, I know we're not going to end up in Kufa, but I am still going off because there is a message, a revolutionary, universal, international message that will transcend time, which will come today and inspire millions all over the world, but it has to be through you, oh Sayyida Zainab alayhi salam. It has to be through you, oh my beloved daughters, Fatima al-Sughra, Fatima al-Kubra, Sukayna, Ruqayya. It has to be through you. You find the Imam left his daughter Fatima al-Alila alayhi salam in Medina, but he took Abdullah al-Radi' with him. He knows one, and of course she was sick and ill, that's why she left her behind. However, Abdullah al-Radi', does he not know what's going to happen? Of course he knows what's going to happen. And the interesting thing was, a few nights ago we mentioned that after the calamity of Karbala, Yazid, when he gathered all the killers of Imam al-Hussein, he would ask them all one by one, what did you do? What was your role? And so Harmala was there, Umar ibn Sa'ad was there, you find Shimr, La'natullah alayhi, was there, Ubaidullah was there, and he went through all of them, and they all said their role in Karbala. When he got to Harmala, he said, what was your role? He said, Hussein had a 6-month-old baby. Yazid was sitting like this, and we mentioned this a few nights ago, but it's so significant to the point right here. And then he sat like that. And what did you do? He said, and I killed him. He said, you maniac. Al-Hussein alayhi salam was successful through that son, through that sacrifice. He said, what do you mean? He said, because what would have been different had you given him water? What would have changed? We still would have done everything the way we did. But because you even didn't show mercy to a baby, the books of history will always remember us as monsters. And do we not? Of course we do. Because if you can't show mercy to the child, then this isn't a matter of politics. He didn't want to give allegiance. No. It's a matter of humanity. Hence why Aba Abdullah inspires humans, not just Muslims. I look at Gandhi saying, I was inspired by Hussein to be little in number, but to come out strong and revolutionize. Indeed. And you look at many interesting names and figures. Many organizations today, non-Muslims love Imam al-Hussein, and rightfully so. However, when it comes to this subject and this matter, my dear respected brothers and sisters, I would like to refer back to the ayah of the Holy Quran. When we look at Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, ذَلِكَ وَمَنْ يُعَظَّمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّهَا مِنْ taqwa al-qulub. And whoever upholds or honors the symbols of Allah, indeed, that is from the piety of the heart. Aftermath of Karbala, my dear brothers and sisters, traditionally and culturally, and this is beautifully accepted and perfectly fine, we commemorate what some communities will call Sham Ghariban, how the event post Karbala, Sham, of course Damascus, Sham, Ghariban, the strangers of Sham. Indeed, that there were these captives, women, but not any women, the daughters of the Holy Prophet. And they were taken as captives. And this hurts the heart. And you find that many cultures will come and implement beautiful symbolism, beautiful rituals of the like such as lighting candles. Haven't you seen? They'll turn off the lights and they'll dim the lights and they'll light candles and they'll make children walk around, and it'll reflect and represent that tragic event where even children weren't given mercy, where even little infants weren't shown love and compassion on that day. And the candles indeed will come and symbolize and reflect that loneliness. Sham Ghariban, if I'm not mistaken for Farsi, the homelessness of the family of the Holy Prophet when they went to Sham, when they went through Kufa, when they traveled these distances. And indeed, the tragedy of the Imam doesn't stop on Yawmul Ashura, the 10th of Muharram. It continues through this homelessness of the daughters of Rasulullah. But would you believe it continues today? How so? When we talk about Sha'a'ir Allah, the symbols of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we also discussed the Sha'ar of Imam al-Hussein. Indeed, those are reflective and parallel of the symbols of Allah. Because as we mentioned, al-Hussein, أَعْطَى اللَّهُ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ فَأَعْطَاهُ اللَّهُ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ. He gave everything to Allah, so then Allah gave him everything in return. His stance was a stance of honor. So his symbols are symbols of honor that will take me back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what are these symbols? What are the acts that are very much prescribed to be doing on this day, post-aftermath of Karbala? One of the best things to do, my dear brothers over there sitting down to the side, I would love your attention inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. One of the best things to do on a day like this, brothers and sisters, and for the next few weeks, respected brothers and sisters, for the next few weeks, wear black. Black is a symbol and color of mourning. And we have a hadith substantiating this claim that when you wear black, the Imams of Ahlul Bayt would say it's an expression of grief. I am sad at that moment. Of course, when your mother passes away, la samahallah, and may Allah bless all of our mothers that are still amongst us and give them all good health and a long life, or somebody dear to your life would go away, you would feel sad, and by nature, naturally, is natural, nature, you would wear black as an expression of mourning. You're sad. then how about the one that was slaughtered without a drop of water for 3 days? Of course you feel sad. Of course we feel incredibly sad. The Ahlul Bayt would come and try their hardest to implement this rule that if we are sad, you should be sad. Why? Because we're not sad for any reason. We're not sad for any purpose. Inni silmun liman salamakum. I'm at peace with the one who's at peace with you. Wa aduun liman adakum. And I'm an enemy to the one who takes you as an enemy. Wa harbun liman harabakum. And I'm at war with the one who's at war with you. And وَوَلِيٌّ لِمَنْ وَالَاكُمْ. And I am an ally with the one who takes you as an ally. So their huzn is indeed my huzn. And if they, Ahlul Bayt, 100% sure, Imam al-Mahdi would also mention this, that on this day I am saddened. And if Sahib al-Asr was Zaman is saddened today, brothers and sisters, we are also saddened today indeed. So wearing black is one of these symbols that reflects Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on this event through Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. A second symbol, crying. Crying, brothers and sisters, there's this ugly misconception that, true men, real men don't. No. An insan, if the human being doesn't cry, you go through that qaswatul qalb. Your heart becomes hard. It's nature. When somebody cries, don't tell them don't cry. You're telling me not to breathe, basically. It's natural. When someone feels sad, the response, it may be crying. And sometimes, not just sometimes, most of the times, tears open that heart. It opens that chest where you feel relieved. Today, when we recited the maqtal, my dear respected brothers and sisters, yes, it was hard. Yes, it was difficult. But at the end of all that, technically speaking, when the dust settled, don't you feel this peace and serenity at your heart that I came and I participated and reflected and remembered the tragedy of Imam al-Hussein? It indeed relaxes that soft heart. Sometimes the pressures pile up on you. And let's not say it's a girly thing, don't cry. No. Real men cry for legitimate purposes. And one of the greatest, most authentic, legitimate purposes, most honorable purpose is to cry for Imam al-Hussein. I would argue you're not a man if you don't cry for Abu Abdullah. Ahlul Bayt and Malaikat as-samawati wal-ard cries for Imam al-Hussein on this day. What's in that heart when you don't have a tear? What's in that heart when you don't shed a tear? Now, I'm not saying if you don't cry, then you've done a disservice. No, maybe some people are just different and they perhaps won't cry, but their grief is expressed differently. Indeed, the point is that we express our sorrow in whatever which way we could. And if it takes you to the point, and this is a sensitive topic, I would love your intention. If it takes us to the point where we begin slapping ourselves, the jaza' there is accepted. Because jaza' is expression of this dissatisfaction, sadness to an extreme extent, where you begin to do latam naturally, where you need to express yourself, relieve yourself. In the story of Prophet Musa alayhi salam, Musa, who was his Khalifa? Harun, right? It was supposed to be Harun. Harun alayhi salam died in the life of Prophet Musa. So he didn't have his Khalifa to be his Khalifa. So when he died, Musa and Harun were really close. Number one, they were brothers. And they were close and they loved each other very much. When Harun died, imagine losing a brother. It's very hard. They would say Musa ripped his shirt like this. He ripped it. He ripped it open. You have to relieve yourself. Sometimes pressure adds and builds up on your chest. You feel it. You just want to express. Nabiyullah Yaqub. Yusuf, he knows he's alive. Nabi, he knows. He has the secrets of the heavens. He knows he's alive. Cried so much, he became blind. So when they tell you and complain, what are you doing hitting yourself? What are you doing crying? Did not Yaqub cry for Yusuf and become blind? Oh, it's haram to hurt yourself. It is. It's haram to deliberately hurt yourself. But when you cry and listen to the masab of Al Muhammad, how can you not do something where you just want to express and relieve and remove that pressure? If it's through the act of latam, so be it. In some cultures, they will take what is the zinjil, and sometimes many people will come and start arguing that, no, this has nothing to do with sha'ar of Imam al-Hussein. At the end of the day, when we look at rituals such as this, we have to understand that many people don't have an issue, and if those have an issue, you don't need to practice it. Don't practice, but don't come and do kufr like that. Some people love to do this. Why do you act like this, and why do you behave like this? Okay, that's not part of Islam. It's a bid'ah, right? And every bid'ah is a dhalala, and every dhalala is a, oh my God, they'll take you to the end of the world. Dhalalatun min nar. At the end of the day, I want to express my grief the way I want to express it. And if the Ahlul Bayt have sanctioned that you can cry and express grief however you want for the Ahlul Bayt, then leave it. If there's a difference of opinion, go ahead, have a difference of opinion. Look at your scholar, the Marja' Deen, and see what he says regarding a certain ritual. But if someone wants to express their grief and sadness, a person, I recall, a Christian Catholic priest from Ann Arbor, Michigan, a city a little bit north in Michigan, a friend of mine that attended his congregation in Mass received news that his mother passed away. This is a priest. His mother passed away, and he took a little cross made of wood that had a picture, had a carving of Jesus. It was not little. It was like a cane, large enough to be like a cane. You know those canes that they use? He took it and he started hitting himself with it because his mom died. And mom is just, it's not someone simple. This is your mother. She held on to you and showed you love when everyone probably showed you hatred. And it's a natural response. And I can imagine our mothers are close to us. How would we respond? Then imagine the children of Imam al-Hussein. How did they respond? I only think about Sukaina in the event of Sham, when she is crying and crying, and she says, I want my dad. In our terms, give me daddy. I want daddy. And it really breaks the heart. Wallahi al-azim. How can I not cry? I honestly don't know how. I don't know. And she would call for her dad. I want my father. And Yazid would become annoyed. Why is she screaming? Who is this girl that's yelling? They would say, it's the daughter of Hussein. She's calling for her dad. And I don't want to get down to this musibah too much. There is still some time for the lecture. We'll save this musibah to the end, inshallah. But you find she would cry for her father, and when they brought her father's head, alayhi salam, she then died on that head. She embraced it and she fell and she died. When she did that, brothers and sisters, that showed us something, that when you cry, sometimes our expressions of grief are not in our control. So if someone is sad, don't say, hey, don't act like that. Hey, you're being over dramatic. No, who cares? Stop. It is natural. It's nature. Telling me not to cry is like telling me not to breathe. When I feel sad, I cry. When I feel happy, I laugh. But you don't have an issue with laughing, you have a problem with crying. And this isn't coming from non-Muslims. It's not. You know where it's coming from? It's coming from Muslims. You, lovers who call yourself Shia of Ali, you express too much grief, you exaggerate too much. At the end of the day, the response is a logical one, that we are human beings and we cry the way we cry. Number two, my dear brothers and sisters, and we will continue with this, amongst the symbols of these nights and these days, the recitation of the maqtal. Of course, alhamdulillah, today we recited it. And indeed, you recall the events that occurred, and it asked more to the points. How can you not cry? Another is expression of dissatisfaction and dissociation from the enemies of the Ahlul Bayt. Bara'ah, when you express your dissatisfaction to them. If I love someone, naturally, I will love their enemy or hate their enemy. Hate their enemy. If I love you more than I love my own self, you know what we say sometimes to our holy imams? Fidatak nafsi, ummi wa abi, let's say for example. That may my parents be ransomed, sacrificed for you, for your call, for your message, for your purpose. Okay, if I love someone more than I love myself, if someone gives them a paper cut, I'll unleash on them. إني سلم لمن سالمكم وعدو لمن عاداكم وحرب لمن حاربكم. I am an enemy to the one who takes you as an enemy. Likewise, those cruel monsters on the event of Karbala, we do la'an on them. Indeed, this association. And there is a very sensitive discussion, and this is actually a very sensitive discussion, the discussion of la'an and sab, invoking Allah to remove His blessings from a particular person, or just flat out cussing. Cussing is haram, brothers and sisters. But asking Allah to remove the blessings, as mentioned in the Quran, Allah does la'na on shaitan. Indeed, I will do la'na on shaitan al-insi wal-jinn. Of course, and shaitan al-ins was manifested, the anthropomorphic shaitan, that insan shaitan was manifested in the face of Shimr, in the face of Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad, in the face of Yazid, in the face of Harmala. Those are all shayateen al-ins. And I do la'an on shaitan, likewise I'll do la'an on them. This association from the enemies of Ahlul Bayt, and not just the enemies from the 61th year after Hijrah in Karbala. No. All enemies of Ahlul Bayt, beginning with the ones that tormented Fatima Zahra alayha salam, including Rasulullah, down to the last enemy, the enemies that are still alive today. They say that for every year there is a Hussein, and for every year there is also a Yazid, but that's a whole entire different discussion. This expression of dissatisfaction and la'an to the enemies of the Ahlul Bayt. Number I don't know which number this is, could be number 5 actually. Condolences. Offer your condolences to your fellow brothers and sisters. Go up to them and say, عظم الله لكم الأجر. Allah يأجركم on the musibah, the istishhad, the martyrdom of Sayyid al-Ahrar, wa Sayyid Shabab Ahl al-Jannah, and of Sayyid al-Shuhada, al-Imam al-Hussein. Go up to your fellow brother and sister. On the aftermath of Karbala, this is what we should be following and doing. That we go and we reach our brothers and sisters like we do on Eid, we congratulate. Nubarak, Nuhanni. Likewise, on the opposites, on the days of commemoration, we go and we nu'azzi. We come and we express our condolences to our fellow Muslim brothers and sisters, because number one, it establishes that union and that bond and brotherhood and sisterhood, that me and you, we reflect on something. By the way, send your condolences to our wonderful Sunni brothers and sisters. Do they not take Imam Hussein as the grandson of Rasulullah? Of course they do. Sometimes we cocoon Aba Abdullah to ourselves. No, Imam Hussein's a humanitarian message. No surprise I see a Christian die for him. No surprise. He's a humanitarian message. Allow Imam al-Hussein to be open up for the world, and the world will accept him with open and wide arms. Send your condolences, my dear respected brothers and sisters. And number 7, number 6, don't fast. This is a very controversial subject. That there is siyam and Sawm on the event of Ashura. Okay. Number 1, a majority of, the Sunni world is fasting right now. And there is a wrong misconception that they are doing it against what Imam Hussein stood for, because we Shia are crying, so they'll do it. No, they're not doing it for that reason. A lot of them are, not most of them, are fasting with good intention. That we have hadith that says Rasulullah said fast the day of Ashura on Muharram. So their intention is good. So let's not say, they're doing it because they want to get at us. It's like a game. They're going to be sad. We're going to be happy and fast. That's not ultimately the intention. Yes, it could be the intention of the Salafi and Wahhabi, but the mainstream Sunni world, no. Their intentions are pure. So when someone is fasting, your coworker, your school friend, several times brothers have approached me here in this center, and they would tell me, I have a coworker or I have a school friend that told me, hey, are you going to fast on Yawm al-Ashr min Muharram? What do I say? How do I respond? And it's not like they're doing it out of aggravation or agitation. No, they're just doing it because they truly believe with the good intention that there is reason. I would love to look at this reason, my dear respected brothers and sisters, and where it is derived from sources, polemically, from our dear Sunni brothers and sisters, and look at why we should not be fasting. Before I get into that, I just have to describe something as a disclaimer. This is a discussion. And this is reality. You either look at fasting as a means of celebration and satisfaction and connect it with Yawm al-Ashr min Muharram as the biggest tragedy in the world with an open heart or a closed heart. If you believe that fasting is happiness combined with joy, because what? Are we not told to fast on our birthdays? It's mustahab. Because the day you were born, fast, because you weren't eating on that day when you were born. So fast, it's more mustahab for you. Or the days of Eid, with the exception of Eid al-Fitr, you're supposed to fast on, Eid al-Adha, they would say, on, Eid al-Ghadir, Mubahala, fast on occasions that are joyous. Today is not a joyous day. Is today a joyous day? No, it's not a joyous day. So our ulama will call it makruh. But where is it substantiated, my dear respected brothers and sisters, in the sources? You'll find 3 sources, my dear respected brothers and sisters, that our wonderful Sunni brothers will come and substantiate this claim. It is found in Bukhari, in Muslim, and in Tirmidhi's Sunan. But the idea is the names that are used to reference this, the sanad, the chain of narrators, are always these 4 individuals. Who are they? Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, Abu Hurairah, Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, and Ibn Abbas. Okay, these 4 individuals are always mentioned when it comes to Sumu Yawm Ashura. Okay, I look at these sources and I look at these narrations and I study the sanad, the one that narrated it. I look at, for example, Abu Hurairah. The event regarding fasting on Yawm al-Ashr min Muharram was meant because the Holy Prophet entered the city of Medina. So 1 Hijrah, Rasulullah entered Medina, and he saw the Yahud fasting. And he said, what are you doing? They say, we are fasting. Rasulullah says, okay, Why are you fasting? They said, because today is the day Musa, took the Banu Israel from danger and gave them salvation. They were freed from Fir'aun. Today's the day. Noah's ark, Nabi Allah Nuh's ark landed finally. Today's a happy day for the Jews. Rasulullah then responded with, okay, I have a greater right on Musa because I'm a prophet. So I'm going to fast on this day too, and I'm going to tell my followers to fast. Rasulullah doesn't get inspired by Jews, my dear respected brothers and sisters, with utmost love and respect to them. However, reading this hadith, it's narrated, as we mentioned, by number one, you could look at Abu Hurairah. Abu Hurairah entered Medina in the 7th year after Hijrah. No one will deny that. 7th year, Khaybar, Abu Hurairah came to Medina. So he only saw Rasulullah for 3 years and a few months. Rasulullah, when did he die? What year Hijrah did Rasulullah die? Anyone know? 11 Hijrah. So if he met him for the first time, no one will deny this, by the way. 7th year, how long does he see Rasulullah? 3 months, 3 years and a few months, or about 4 years. Okay, this hadith was meant to happen when he first entered Medina, the first year after Hijrah. 7 years later, he saw him. So how is he narrating it? Number one. Number two, you find that if it's narrated by Ibn Abbas in Bukhari, and I would like to read the narration, so we can dispel this misconception, my dear respected brothers and sisters. حدثنا أبو معمر حدثنا عبد الوارث حدثنا أيوب حدثنا عبد الله بن سعيد بن جبير عن أبيه عن ابن عباس. Who is the one that originally narrated? وعليكم السلام. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Who was the one that originally narrated it? Ibn Abbas. Ibn Abbas, my dear respected brothers and sisters, was born in the 619th year after Hijrah. 619th year. When did Rasulullah go to Medina? What was the year? The year 622, his Hijrah. That would make him 3 or 4 years old. How is he narrating narrations if he's 3 or 4 years old? And the ulama al-rijal will tell you that that is not an authentic narrator. If they are 4, that we don't accept them as reliable. So when Ibn Abbas perhaps narrates something that, let's say for example, قال قدم النبي صلى الله وسلم, unfortunately the al is not mentioned there, وآله وسلم المدينة فرأى اليهود تصوم يوم عاشوراء فقال ما هذا قالوا هذا يوم صالح هذا يوم نجى الله بني إسرائيل من عدوهم فصامه موسى قال فأنا أحق بموسى منكم فصامه وأمر بصيامه. Now it's interesting that the Holy Prophet would become inspired by the Jews and their traditions. Now I ask a question. Are Jews still alive today? Yes. Can you go to any rabbi and ask, was there a day or is there an Eid in your holiday that you celebrate the event in which Musa was saved from Fir'aun? No. If it's Yom Kippur, Yom al-Kafara basically, Yom Kippur, the Jewish holiday, that is not when Musa was saved from Fir'aun and by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That was when the kafara, what is it? Penalty. You did something wrong. Kafara, kafar. You did something wrong, you have to now pay a penalty. That is on occasion when Musa came down from Mount Sinai and saw them worshipping a calf after he split the sea for them and everything. It's an event of, in fact, dissatisfaction. Any Jewish rabbi will tell you that. And so Yom Kippur or Yom Kafara is an event where you have to do penalty. You wronged, you transgressed, now you have to come and fix that, and then you fast. That's not the event in which Musa was saved by Fir'aun. No one will tell you that. And number 3, Rasulullah, when he entered Medina, Yawm al-Ashir min Muharram, we're supposed to fast because the Yehud on Yawm al-Ashir, they fasted. Did Rasulullah enter Medina in Muharram? Rabi'ul Awwal. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam entered Medina Rabi'ul Awwal ala hubbihi sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And I do not want to take too long. Samahat al-Shaykh is here, hafidhahullah. These are our last nights and we want to benefit from Samahatuhu and be together for these last nights to commemorate the tragedy of Imam al-Hussein, so I won't take too long. Eventually and ultimately, my dear respected brothers and sisters, we reject this. And if you look at Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, okay, he came in Medina also the 7th year after Hijrah, because during the event of Hijrah and prior and after that by a few years he was in Yemen. No one will deny historically he was in Yemen, Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. So if this happened in the 1st year after Hijrah, 7th year he reunited with Rasulullah, reunites with him, then of course that's not going to be able to be narrated by him. So then how is it that this narration was there? We would then argue that, of course, there's indeed an agenda all the Shia are crying. Let's try to make this a day in which we say fast on that event in order to divert the attention from this tragedy, because the more you focus on this tragedy, where is it going to take you? You look at Imam Hussein, then you're going to look at Imam Zain al-Abidin. Look at Imam Zain al-Abidin, he's going to take you to Imam al-Baqir. Imam al-Baqir is going to take you to Imam al-Sadiq. Al-Sadiq to al-Kadhim, al-Kadhim to al-Rida, al-Jawad, al-Hadi, al-Askari, al-Qa'im, ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu al-Sharif. Sallu ala Muhammad. So divert the attention. Call it a yawmu farah. Call it a happy day. Eid. Celebrate. Make sure the attention is not given to this event in order that we can preserve our particular, unfortunately, agenda. Moving on with that, my dear respected brothers and sisters, as mentioned, we would like to conclude soon, inshallah. And I just have a few words that I would like to say before we finish with our last and final lectures. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has honored us, in particular me, for coming here to this wonderful center. I ask you all to constantly remember each and another in your du'as. Remember one another in your du'as, in your prayers. Allah has looked at your a'mal the last 10 days and He said, they have cried for me. They have came for Imam al-Hussein. Imam Hussein is speaking. They came and cried for me. They came and lamented, eulogy, recited, all for me. So we are all blessed so much right now, subhanAllah. So I ask that you remember me in your du'a, as these are my last nights here with you all. Inshallah, in a few more days, we will be returning back to my great state of Michigan. Really cold right now. But inshallah, when we return, I would love for you all to forgive me if I have said anything that may have been insulting to you, have offended you perhaps. We spoke a lot these last few days. So I ask that you all, inshallah ta'ala, would keep us all in your dua. Keep me in your dua, Samahat al-Sheikh, everyone, your brothers and sisters with you together, that we continue this message. Imam al-Hussein is not just one man. He is a principle. He is a message, a revolutionary that has inspired millions today. You take that Husseini power that you built with yourself in the last 10 days and you continue it. I would love to see organizations made in his name, foundations made in the name of As-Sayyida Zainab, As-Sayyida Ruqayya, Sayyiduna, وحبيبنا أبا الفضل العباس عليه السلام. I would love to see more of these initiatives happen by the wonderful community here, and I know there is so much potential. I've gotten to know so many of you closely on a personal level, and I would say alhamdulillah wa shukr, it's been my honor, of course, and indeed it's been all of our honor to come together to commemorate one of the greatest tragedies in Islamic history, to benefit from one another. And I would love to conclude by reciting the event in which Sayyidatuna wa Mawlatuna Sukayna Salamullahi alayha, because we recognize the event of Shami Ghariban, the homelessness of the Ahlul Bayt when they reached the land of Sham. You find Yazid La'natullahi alayhi would be hearing cries, and he would be hearing the yells and the shouts from the side in which the women that were taken captive from Kufa would be laying in. And he would say, what are they crying about? A servant would go and they would see that sight. They would see a Sayyida Ruqayya crying. She would be yelling, my father, I miss you. In our terms today, Daddy, I miss you, my beloved father. Imagine this young girl, under the age of 10, they say. A young girl, what does she have to do with this? Why was she put in this situation? Merciless, heartless individuals. Can somebody bring me my father? And she would go to sleep at that moment. She found her father. You see, when you love someone so much, you begin dreaming about them. And of course, what other person would come to her other than Aba Abdullah? He would come to her dream, in her dream, and would say to her, my beloved Sukayna, soon you will be with me. Soon your dua will be answered. And he embraced her. She would say, he came and he hugged me. Allah, what a dream. When Aba Abdullah comes and embraces you and hugs you, may Allah grant us that dream, inshallah. And then she would wake up. When she woke up, she said, I can't handle it anymore. I want to see my father. Bring me my dad. They would say, a man would come from Yazid and he would see the situation. He would return. He told Yazid that there is a girl crying. He would say, who is it? They would say, it is Sukayna, daughter of Ali. It is the daughter of the man we slaughtered in Karbala. She is crying for her father. Natural, little girl asks for her dad. She is asking looking for her father. Yazid then said, it's fine, let her see her father. He then got the head of Imam al-Hussein and he placed it on a platter. They would cover it with cloth. They took the head to the cell and they placed it in front of a Sayyida Sukaina. She would say, what have you brought to me? I asked for nothing. All I want is my dad. They would then remove the cloth. She would then see the severed head of Imam al-Hussein. She would then cry screaming, Aba Hussein, my father, Aba Abdullah, look what they have done to you. A little girl, she came and hugged that head. Those merciless people, brothers and sisters, disassociate from them. La'natullah alayhim ajma'in. She would then hug that head. As Sayyida Zainab would go and embrace her, she would try to remove her, and then she would notice that she is no longer moving. She would then realize that As-Sayyida At-Tahira Al-Mutahhira Sukaina has returned back to her Lord, and now she is with her father, Imam al-Hussein. اللهم إنا نسألك وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم 10 times with the love of Sayyida Sukaina in your heart. Keep it in the heart. Ya Allahu, Ya Allahu, Ya Allah. Make the dua next Muharram. We are here together again commemorating this. Ya Allah, Ya Allahu. Ya Allahu, Ya Allahu, Ya Allah. Ilahi bihaqq al-Husayn, shafi mardana. إلهي بحق الحسين اقضي حوائجنا. إلهي بحق الحسين فرج عنا. إلهي بحق الحسين اقضي ديوننا. إلهي بحق الحسين اجعلنا من خدامه. إلهي بحق الحسين ارزقنا زيارته في الدنيا وشفاعته في الآخرة. إلهي بحق الحسين. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on behalf of Imam Hussein to bless us all on this night, my dear respected brothers and sisters. Make the dua. This is the last day of Ashura. Maybe we are not here next Ashura, so make the dua. It's pure, it's inside. Today we are all we're here for the maqtal. Samahat al-Shaykh is here, hafidhahullah, and we are all gathered. Make the dua. Next year we will continue this wonderful ritual and this wonderful commemoration. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us and to aid us in our journeys, in our lives, wherever we may be. وإلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات والعلماء والشهداء سيما من أوصانا بالدعاء. رحم الله من قرأ سورة المباركة الفاتحة تسبقها الصلوات.